What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE was supposed to crown another WWE champion at day one, a top WWE superstar re-signs, Jeff Hardy's cancelled plans, Tony Khan says a dream signing is coming, Kevin Owens' wife tests positive for COVID, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at WWE was supposed to crown another WWE champion at day one. Atop in the news today is a report from Dave Meltzer at Sports Illustrated's website providing details on who was originally booked to win at day one. According to Meltzer, the actual original scripted plan for the show was for Big E to lose the championship, but to Seth Rollins, who had tested positive for COVID-19 last week, and the champion instead lost his title to Lesnar as a result of another positive test. Now at this point, it's unlikely fans will ever know just who would have won the original Fatal 4-Way match for the championship, especially given Vince McMahon's love for last-minute booking decisions. Now, as Meltzer and many others have remarked, the WWE took advantage of a good opportunity when the Lesnar vs Reigns match was cancelled, potentially making the Lesnar vs Reigns match at Wrestlemania 38 even bigger. Meltzer also discussed how the WWE had considerable pressure on it for day one to succeed, as fan expectations were high after Lesnar vs Reigns was announced. Ticket sales were very strong in the closing stretch. A good 3,000 to 4,000 tickets were sold for the show at State Farm Arena in Atlanta in the last 3 weeks. Sales picked up big after the announcement of Reigns vs Brock Lesnar, a part-timer who is the company's other biggest star. Now, Lesnar's win has apparently already led to dividends on Raw, as WrestleNomics is reporting the 3rd January edition of Raw brought in the biggest number of viewers since the 4th October show and increases the 18 to 49 demographic. There are a number of questions whether the WWE can continue Raw's increased numbers, including whether Brock Lesnar is going to appear on a regular basis, whether any rating improvements generated by Lesnar will continue or fade with subsequent appearances, and whether the WWE can book compelling stories besides those involving Lesnar. Now, it doesn't take a genius to understand that the increased ratings are a fantastic opportunity for the WWE to bring in more fans and keep them. However, the WWE's history of phoning things in on the red brand makes us doubtful fans will see anything new on the undercard that might prove exciting enough for fans to want to tune in every week, regardless of whether the beast is there or not. Next up, a big title change at NXT New Year's Evil. Tuesday's NXT New Year's Evil special featured a big title change as Bron Breakker defeated Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship, bulldogging Ciampa off the top rope and forcing him to submit via the Steiner recliner. NXT fans have been anticipating Brekker's title win ever since his NXT debut, as the WWE has been pushing him hard. Several fans in attendance tweeted photos and videos of Bron's dad Rick Steiner congratulating him after his win. There's currently no reports of Bron's uncle Scott Steiner being present, but Big Papa Pumpa's never shied away from blasting the WWE for how he feels the company misbooked him. There was also another title change, or more accurately, a title unification, as North American Heavyweight Champion Carmelo Hayes defeated Cruiserweight Champion Roderick Strong to unify both belts. Some fans and pundits are looking at New Year's Evil as a next step in NXT's evolution from Triple H's vision to that of Vince McMahon's. McMahon's focus on younger and bigger stars seems to be in full effect now, and the biggest questions are whether NXT 2.0's ratings will grow and whether NXT 2.0 stars can become main eventers when they're promoted to the main roster. WWE has made a notable number of changes to NXT with no significant increase in the show's ratings. However, if Vince McMahon feels that NXT 2.0 is creating bankable stars, the ratings may be considered a secondary goal. Obviously, the USA Network, which pays for the rights to air NXT, may feel differently, and if the ratings sank too much, NXT might end up back on the WWE Network. What do you think of NXT 2.0 compared to the previous version, and is Bron Breakker a good choice to wear the championship? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a top WWE Superstar Re-signs. Fans of the Phenomenal One will want to listen to this story. As noted by Cultaholics Mitch Wooden, it was reported back in 2019 that Styles had signed a 3-year deal with the promotion, meaning that his contract would be expiring this year. Now, while AEW may be interested in Styles, Dave Meltzer is reporting he just signed, I don't know if it's a 3 or 5 year deal. It wasn't that long ago when he signed it. He's not going anywhere. He had the chance to go if he wanted to, but he was not interested. There were certainly overtures made for him, and there were good money overtures, but he's in his mind. I think he's a lifer there. Whether that's the right or wrong call, I couldn't tell you. Meltzer shared the news on a recent Wrestling Observer Radio, further speculating that the 44-year-old Styles could end his wrestling career there. Styles has previously discussed wanting to end his wrestling career in the WWE. Despite his age, Styles has shown no signs of slowing up, and like other veteran high flyers like Rey Mysterio, he's adjusted his style to keep up with the restrictions that often come up with the aging process. Styles appeared on NXT's New Year's Evil special and is set to wrestle Grayson Waller. It looks like Styles may appear in NXT 2.0 in order to boost the show's star power. Now, there's no definite word on how long Styles is going to appear on NXT 2.0, but apparently he wasn't the only WWE superstar who was booked to wrestle on NXT. As next up, WWE's cancelled plans for Jeff Hardy. Now, AJ Styles isn't the only main roster star working in NXT 2.0, as fans have seen current Raw Tag Team Champion Riddle pop up to assist MSK. However, Fightful Select is reporting that Riddle wasn't the WWE's first choice for MSK's spiritual advisor. Jeff Hardy was originally planned to be the shaman for MSK. Just days before the reveal was to happen, Hardy was released by the company, and Matt Riddle had to rush to film content with MSK to make it work. Now, unlike Finn Balor, who jumped from SmackDown to NXT, rumors have it that Jeff would have appeared on both NXT and the Blue brand. Fightful reports that the WWE had other plans for wrestling's charismatic enigma, as his recent alliance with Drew McIntyre may have led to Hardy battling Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss to avenge their recent attack on McIntyre at Day 1. The WWE's plans for Hardy went up in smoke after Jeff Hardy walked out of a match at a live event, and the WWE subsequently released him. What would you have thought of Jeff Hardy on NXT? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Tony Khan discusses a dream signing for AEW. It looks like AEW President Tony Khan isn't finished signing more big stars to his promotion. Khan recently spoke with Josh Martinez from Z100 and iHeartRadio about what fans should expect in 2022, including a dream signing. They're in North America and they're coming, and they're pretty soon. It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited. Now, All Elite Wrestling positioned itself as a true alternative to the WWE when it first formed, but some fans are wondering whether the promotion's signing of various ex-WWE superstars has diluted this, turning the company into a better booked version of the WWE. Now, if Khan's dream signing turns out to be someone like former superstar Bray Wyatt, AEW critics will have more reason to blast the company as a haven for WWE cast-offs. Next up, more COVID cases in wrestling. Now, fans shouldn't expect to see several stars on AEW during Dynamite's official move from TNT to TBS, as according to the Wrestling Observer, Matt Jackson, one half of the former AEW Tag Team Champions the Young Bucks, has COVID-19 along with stablemate Brandon Cutler. According to Brian Alvarez, both Jackson and Cutler got the virus, and since brother Nick Jackson was with the two men for 18 hours recently, he was deemed a close contact. As a result, all three men won't appear on this week's AEW Dynamite debut on TBS and won't be back on television until they're cleared. So far, these are the only known absences, but things could change before the show goes on air. AEW has loaded up tonight's Dynamite, and it looks like it wants to start 2022 off with a strong rating and bring in new viewers who tune into TBS. Also, current Raw superstar Kevin Owens' wife has tested positive for COVID-19. Karina advised fans via Instagram that COVID-19 has hit our household. So far, I've only tested positive, but Owens starting symptoms as well. People, please get your booster. I put it off and my symptoms are not fun. Fever, horrible body aches. I know several people that have gotten their booster and were pretty much asymptomatic when they got COVID recently. Naturally, fans will wonder if Kevin Owens will be able to avoid catching COVID, particularly if he did not have the time to quarantine. We're sending our well wishes to everybody currently battling COVID-19. And finally, a Sasha Banks injury update. And last but not least, there's an update on Sasha Banks' physical condition following the injury she suffered at a recent live event. Mike Johnson of PW Insider reported the word making the rounds at Raw this past Monday night was that Sasha Banks was dealing with a sprained leg coming out of a match with Charlotte Flair in Fayetteville, North Carolina. There's no word on when Sasha Banks is expected back in the ring, but we wish her a fast and full recovery. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.